Welcome to DentonRadio.com, powered in part by Classic of Denton. Well, guys, thank you very much for tuning in live here at DentonRadio.com. We are in the midst of a true celebrity. Now, this is Denton's celebrity as well as she's just a celebrity. She just is. But that's not why we're here today. We're going to get into that a little bit. But today we are talking Thin Line, the Thin Line Film Festival, Thin Line Film, Music, and Photo Festival coming up this next weekend.
Yes,
right?
18th to the 22nd.
Right around the corner.
Right around
and
the corner.
This year you are serving as the film director for the entire festival.
Yes.
May we introduce Miss Susan Carol Davis. Thank you so much for being here.
Hello.
really,
Film
really,
lovers everywhere.
It's so good to get you in the studio.
Thank you.
We've gotten to talk with a lot of people already about the fest, and I am so excited to get to sit down with you. Because I feel like you're going to be able to give us some of the best, richest knowledge of because you've got so much knowledge of all the films. Really excited about that. And there's some really, really cool things that are being offered this year.
Yes, there are. We've almost tripled our number of films that we have, and more from more different countries, more representation of different ethnicities, different subject matter. It's a feast. It's a feast for the eyes, the ears, and the heart.
That is very poetically said. I should never have expected any less from Susan Carol Davis. But so give us a rundown on some of the films that we can expect to see this year at Thin Line, and then go into a little bit on the really, really special thing that you guys are offering this year that's allowed us to triple the number of
yes.
films.
Maybe I should start there.
Yes,
actually.
yeah, that would be great.
We have the wonderful opportunity to screen films at the Campus Theater and 3 screens at the Movie Tavern.
Wow.
So that immediately gives us a great deal of freedom in programming.
That's a first.
It is a first. It is a first. We had a Day of the Docs back in October, and that's when we realized that just the opportunity to screen a film in DCP format, which is a format that gives you every bell and whistle you can imagine. That's what we have the ability to do at Movie Tavern.
That's fantastic.
So, it doesn't mean, though, that the projection at the campus is any less quality.
Oh, of course.
It's just a different set of variables that the filmmaker knows about when they see their film on the screen. So
very cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah. Well, I want to say we have our opening night film, Gary Winogrand, All Things Are Photographable, is by Sasha Waters Fryer, and she is a photographer and instructor in photography and film in Virginia. I read about this film when it was going to be at South by Southwest, and one of the reasons I wanted us to screen it was I love when films are a combination of what this festival is, where it's a cross-section of film and music, or film and photography. I just think that really is a smart move on our part, because you have people in town that are interested in more than one thing. So Sasha is going to be here with us. She is a recent winner of a South by Southwest award, jury award.
Wow. Very cool.
So she's going to come with a great deal of knowledge about something she's passionate about, which is Gary Winogrand. If you want to say, Gary Winogrand was not the original Instagram photographer, I don't mean that. But what I do mean is that he caught life in the moment. It was very important for him to look out about in the way he's living and where he is, and take snapshots of it. And black and white photography.
Very cool.
So he is not living, but she brings him alive. I think she does through this film. So that's one of my very favorites, and it is the opening night film.
Very cool. Now, and for a little bit of context, unless I'm mistaken, this was the same guy that did the very famous Marilyn Monroe photo.
Yes.
Correct? Where the wind blows, and
yes.
that everybody and their mother has seen. And that's such a huge piece of just photography history, which is super, super cool.
Yes, it is.
Well, that's awesome. Okay, so what other films do we have going on?
All right. We have a film called Shake Sister Shake, and I think you're going to have the filmmaker on
Yes.
a radio
Stay
show.
tuned in
But
for Shake Sister Shake in the next few days.
yeah, Lisa Eisman is a filmmaker coming to us from Australia. In fact, when I called her, or I emailed her rather, to tell her that we were going to have her in the festival, she was out in the outback, hiking or something. But she came over to film the story of women in the blues, because the blues is a very popular form of music, but there are not as many women that we know about in that arena. So she wanted to tell their stories, and she does it beautifully with kind of a cross section of what their lives are about. They may not be on the road all the time. They may have families. They may have jobs. But at the heart of what they love to do is their blues. Yeah. And she told me that some of them are coming with their guitars on their backs. So art instrument, I don't know.
Hey.
So when we have the Q&A, I'm hoping we have some audience participation like that. Yeah.
That would be very cool.
And this is her world premiere.
Oh, that's fantastic.
World premiere,
wow.
let me tell you. And when a filmmaker entrusts you with their world premiere, you really feel a responsibility in the birth of the film. You want to help them get out the best kind of marketing they can. You want to put them in front of people like you that will spread the word. We have the possibility of perhaps a distribution representation here or sales agent. You never know, because the festival this year has really attracted a lot of attention. We had filmmakers contacting us wanting to be in the festival. Not that hasn't happened before, but it was just the caliber of films we were hearing from made me realize that if the word goes out beyond Denton County.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Yes.
So cool. Well, and speaking of Denton and being on that subject, we talked a little bit before we got started today about the filmmaker's perception of Denton and being in Denton and all that. And I'd love to touch on that a little bit.
Okay. I haven't had anyone say I'm going to buy a cowboy hat and boots when I get there. But what I have heard is they say it's a cool town. They know it's going to be a cool town. They know it's going to be a friendly town. They're looking forward to our audiences because we have diversity here. We have, we have the two universities. We have people coming to films from all different cultures. We have people who are curious.
Yeah.
And we have a history. This town has a history that's very rich, but the festival has a history. This is our 11th year.
Which is incredible.
Yeah, and they also, as a filmmaker, getting to leave your world premiere and then go listen to fabulous music or go see photography down at the Patterson-Appleton Arts Center, it's kind of a breath of fresh air because you can be in that editing bay and you can be behind your camera a lot.
Right.
And so getting to appreciate other art forms and other artists that's a real pleasure.
That is. So. What a treat. Well, I'm glad to hear that everybody's excited about being in Denton.
They are.
And that we've got a lot to offer, which is so much fun because every time I go and look at our just a calendar of events and we'll go through it every morning and we just go, God, 'cause I feel like every day it grows. You can go to any other town in America on a Tuesday and there's 3 or 4 things. And then you look in Denton and it's like, wow, that's pretty impressive Tuesday.
It is very impressive, and we're going to try to get them around town pretty well because we do provide transportation to them.
Oh, good.
Between hotel and downtown, but we also have wonderful TWU providing a bus, a shuttle bus that's going to go between the 2 theaters and also between our VIP parking lot.
That's awesome.
So. That's a great thing that TWU is doing for us.
Well, let's touch on that for a second when you say the VIP parking lot.
Yes.
Because one of the big challenges in any, how do I say? Because I don't want to say major city, but any awesome city is parking, right?
Yeah.
And so one of the things, so Thin Line is free, FREE free.
FREE.
You need to register thinline.us, but you can upscale to some VIP packages that are not pricey at all, like unbelievably affordable.
Unbelievable.
And one of the offers on one of those packages is parking downtown.
Parking downtown. Did you hear that? Parking downtown.
Which just blows my mind. You don't even have to go to films or see anything. You'll just get to park downtown. It'll be worth it. I mean, you should, but
I'll build a day for you. Let's say you come downtown and have breakfast at a business around the square, and then you hop on our shuttle after having parked your car down past Wells Fargo. You go down to Movie Tavern, you see a couple of films there, and then you get back on the shuttle, and you come back downtown and you have lunch here, and it's just going to provide some great mobility.
Yeah.
Great
and go see
mobility.
Jesse Fry perform or Desi
Yes.
5 perform.
Yes, yes.
Pop on over to one of the photography
Yes.
galleries and go see all the
Yes.
photos and everything.
Yeah. It's
gonna be
good.
very cool.
It's good.
It's going to be very cool.
It's good.
Make
Now,
a
I will
full
say
day out of it.
also we have wonderful parking at the Movie Tavern,
Oh, great.
which is a real plus too. That
Yeah.
there's
and then the
great
shuttle
parking
could
there.
bring you from Movie Tavern
Yes.
back downtown.
Yes, it can.
And you can do that as well.
Yes.
Well, I'll be darned. Learn something new every day. So, for anybody that hasn't heard yet, and we've been saying this a whole lot, the festival is free, but you need to register for your spot. You need to go to thinline.us. There's on the corner, if you're watching this, if you're listening, you have no idea what I'm doing. But if you're watching this, there's a thing on the top corner of the video that's thinline.us.
Oh,
and so you
good.
can see that URL, plug that in, and reserve your spot. Again, it's free, but you need to make sure that you register so they know you're coming. They can get your wristband,
Right.
all that good stuff.
Right.
Don't wait till the last minute on this, and don't not do it because we just told you that you needed to.
Yeah. And there also is a sponsor's pass, which is very reasonable too. It's $19.
Wow.
And it helps the festival that you purchase it. It also gives you $15 merchandise credit on something we would have at the festival, like a T-shirt or
Well, that's cool. So
and a
$15
koozie.
credit, and
Yes.
then you only have to pay $19.
Exactly.
I'll be
Exactly.
darned. Very
Exactly.
cool. Well, and a lot of
So-
people have come to me and said, man, this is a major thing that puts Denton on the map. You've got great film. You've got great music. You've got great photography. It's one of the most well-run festivals I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, thank you.
And people always go, well, how can I give back to it? And they have this option to
Yes.
go online
Yes, they do.
and do this $19 off. That's so cool.
It is. It is.
Very,
It is.
very, very cool.
We have great community partners. I don't know if you are aware of that, but
Please.
what it is,
Let us know.
a community partner is someone like Dallas Video Fest who
Mm-hmm.
will use social media and their website to promote the festival.
Mm-hmm.
Then they will sponsor a particular film.
Oh, cool.
And let's say, Dallas Video Fest is doing Sickies Making Films, which is
Love
about
it.
censorship,
Cool.
the history of censorship in films.
Awesome.
And so they're getting the word out to, Dallas County for us, and then they're getting to come here,
Mm-hmm. Right.
get on stage right before Sickies Making Film screens
Love
and
it.
say, come to Dallas Video Fest.
Very
So
cool.
our community sponsors get an opportunity to, right before a screening starts, talk about what their organization does. And
Super,
some
super
others
cool.
we have, North Texas Fair and Rodeo, Tejas Storytelling Association.
That's
So if you're
awesome.
ever interested in being a community partner, that's a great way to both support the fest and also let the organizations around town know about you and let the audience know about you.
Love that.
Sure.
So I promised the audience that we would talk about this just a scotch.
Oh, okay.
But I wanted to talk about your personal history in film and all that good stuff because I think it's important for everybody to know this is not just any film festival being put on by anybody. You've got true industry leaders and professionals putting this thing together. So I wanted to talk a little bit about your IMDb account and some of the that got
all
some
right.
people's attention and some of the movies that you've been involved in yourself.
Okay. I lived in Nashville, Tennessee for 11 years, and I was there during a time when everybody was coming to Nashville to make music videos for CMT.
Gotcha.
So we had directors from all around the world, New York, LA, coming to do these music videos for, great country artists, and they would ask all the actors in town to come and work on set, and sometimes you got paid $25 a day, sometimes you got paid $100 a day if
Hey.
you were like the principal
Yeah.
actor in the music video. So I was studying theater and doing theater and got this great opportunity to be on set around professionals. So from that attention to Nashville, films began to be made around Nashville, telling, kind of the Southern stories.
Yeah.
And one of them was My Dog Skip, which was based on a true story of a wonderful writer who
Yeah.
came from Mississippi. I was the mother of Luke Wilson, and it was set in 1942, so I really was playing the part of a woman who was the same age as my grandmother when my father went to fight
Wow.
in World War II.
Wow, wow, wow.
So I got all kinds of stories from my father that were very interesting during the filming. But that opened a door for me to go to Los Angeles, probably later than most people decide they're going to go to Los Angeles. I was in my early 40s, but I was also there at a time when I really knew what I wanted to do, and I knew I wanted to try to do as much really good storytelling on TV as I could.
Yeah.
So I got to be on things like NYPD Blue and Monk and Desperate Housewives.
Oh, cool.
And then I began to want to develop my own projects. So I gathered people around a dining room table about, I don't know, 12, 13 years ago and said, let's make a movie for a film festival, and let's make it one that's really story driven, that doesn't depend on, special effects and bad language and violence. And I mean, I'm not saying that there aren't places for those things, but I wanted to make something a little different. So I made a romantic comedy, and it was in 10 different festivals. It was also at a time when not everybody had a camera. Not everybody was submitting to festivals. Since that time, probably the number of film festivals has just, quadrupled, many more than there ever were then. But that was my producing experience. And when I got to Denton 5 years ago, knowing that I had some background in that, David Barrow, with when we were all Broncos, the director of that, asked me if I would do producing and production coordination for him. So I'd literally been in town about, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks when I went to Thin Line. I talked to David, and I got hired to do distribution for a company out of New York called Olive Tree Television. And I did distribution for them. I would go out looking for great films that they could show on their cable television station. So I got really a great deal of experience of both hearing yes and hearing no.
Sure.
And how to go past that gate of the person you talk to first on the phone at a big distribution company who doesn't have any idea who you are. And so should they really put you through to the next level?
Right.
But that was invaluable to me because I learned how to keep great records of contact with filmmakers, learned about different kinds of distribution companies, the kinds of contracts that filmmakers have to work with, and also the concern filmmakers have for how their film is going to be handled. And you know what I mean by that. It's like, when an artist takes a painting to a gallery, they hope it's going to be hung correctly and all those things. So I wanted to do producing and directing of films that would keep me in the loop of creating, but I also, with Thin Line, wanted to be in the position of being a friend of filmmakers, being an avenue for them to come tell their story in a place that I think is very inviting of stories. Stories are really at the heart of it all. I looked at over 400 movies this year, shorts and features. I also had people who helped me with screening, which was a tremendous help. They would look at about, maybe 15 or 20 films, some more than that, and make notes and come back to me and say, I think these are ones you really, really want to give some attention to. I looked at all of them, but that kind of guidance did point me in the direction on some sooner than later. And festivals are competitive. You want to get your invitation into a film that you really want as soon as you possibly can, because that that filmmaker has to make a decision as to which festivals they're going to go to. Sometimes there are many happening at the same time, and they have to make a really, a choice from the gut and a choice from, their mind as to what would be the best thing for them. Yeah. So I try to help them think through that. I love being able to call someone or email someone and say, we would love your film. Because I've been on the receiving end of hearing that. I've also been on the receiving end of,
We don't
sorry.
Want
And, you know, we have people will submit films and ask for feedback. And we try to provide that. And I
Good.
actually had one instance this year where a person had submitted last year, and they wanted to let us see an edit they had done of the film. And we programmed it this year.
Oh,
That didn't
wonderful.
happen. That doesn't happen in all cases, but
Sure.
I commend that person on wanting to show us what they had taken to, you know, the next level, if you want to call it that.
Very cool.
So I don't know if
Very-
I answered any of your
No,
questions.
that was wonderful. That was exactly what we wanted. Everybody got to see the caliber of person that I'm going to sit next to.
And
Um,
I feel the same way about you. I have,
too
you know, I
nice.
have a talent agent, and I haven't been able to be on camera in a long, long time, but I'm looking forward to getting back into that loop pretty
cool.
soon. Pretty
so
soon.
cool. Well, I'm sure the entire team at Thin Line is ready to get back to many other things once this festival is over, right?
Well, no, we'll immediately start looking for the next film.
That's what the music
Oh, yeah.
crew was in here yesterday, and
yes.
they were saying, so when do you guys start? And they go, about 10 minutes after the festival ends, we start on next year.
Yes, and you start taking notes by what people are telling you in the green
Mm-hmm.
room, like, oh, have you seen this film, or do you know about that film? And
Yeah.
And you know, we do have we have, gosh, 4 films from Sundance, and that is really significant.
Yeah, that's huge.
It is not to say anything, one ranks higher than the other in terms of a submitted
Sure,
film
sure.
versus one that came from Sundance. But that is a very highly competitive
Mm-hmm.
arena to delve into in
Yeah.
order to get the trust of not only the filmmaker, but sometimes the distribution company
Mm-hmm.
that has acquired that film and wants to know it's going to be well handled.
Love it.
So.
So cool. so cool. Well, is there anything else we need to touch on before we wrap up here today?
Yes, actually, when you go online to register, spend some time exploring the films that are going to be shown. We have, oftentimes we have a trailer. We have a synopsis about the film, what it's going to be about. We have great pictures from the film. And that doesn't take really that long to look through things. Earmark some for yourself that you want to see. Then check out the music and see when the photography is going to open, and just set aside some time. That's what I'm saying.
There's a lot to take in
Yeah.
and a lot to consume, and it's really is. I could not commend you guys more for doing such an amazing job with this festival.
We love doing it. We love doing it for our community.
Love it. Well, and your community loves that you guys do it, so we
Yay!
appreciate it very, very
It's a
much.
win-win, isn't
Hey,
it?
exactly, right?
Mhm.
Guys, it is Thin Line Fest happening next weekend. Well, starting the 18th.
18th.
So right in the
yeah,
middle of the
18th.
week. We've only got a few days before this sucker gets kicking off. So you need to go to thinline.us and reserve your spot for
Please.
free right now. Don't miss this thing because it's going to be an
Don't.
awesome fest. She is Susan Carroll Davis. Thank you very, very much for coming on by the studio.
You are welcome. My pleasure. My
Guys,
pleasure.
check out her IMDb account. I just like saying that. It's too cool. It's
Cast
too cool.
me in a film.
Exactly, right? Do
There you
it.
go.
I mean, she's awesome. We love her. Got to do it. Well, I'm telling you, you won't regret it.
Oh, he's very kind.
Check it all out at Thin
That's
Line,
what Denton's
guys.
all about. We support each other.
She hit it right on the head. I think we better end there. That's as high as we're going to get. Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out DentonRadio.com for new Denton artists and where they're playing next. While you're surfing the internet, make sure you check out our friends Classic of Denton at ClassicofDenton.com.